Howdy, on Molex Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. I must have been heading off to do some more looting. If you hear a tapping in the background, I'm having some pretty big rainstorm here at the moment, and something is all wet and dripping directly on my air conditioner. And so it is going tap, tap. It was worse a couple of minutes ago, but um, it hasn't done this since I put the air conditioner in. This is the first time I've ever had it. Whatever is dripping on my air conditioner to be dripping like this, and it's driving me a little crazy, not gonna lie. Must be a plant or something. But, yep. One last big bad storm before it gets, cool, I guess. It's supposed to rain for like the next 4 hours. So, I don't really have a time to not record here. But yeah, it's a busy kind of day. My gaming group is starting late tonight, and we usually start in the middle of my work day, and instead nobody showed up until I was just finished up with work. I'm like, well, I gotta go eat dinner now, but I can hang out with you guys after I get back and after I record, because there ain't no way ain't gonna hang out for a couple of hours and then record. It'll be bedtime. I'll be tired. Alright, let's see what's up here. I haven't been out to this spot yet. I was wondering if I shouldn't start a new map, honestly, since I don't have any traders on this map. I can never figure out if you can move my character to the new map, so I don't have to start over from scratch. Might want to try this school for some recipes here. Didn't I see a zombie? Yeah. Oh man, remember the last time I did a school though? There was like a crazy football player up in the top floor that wrecked me. Alright, let's see if we can find a spot here. Get inside this place. I started watching Fear the Walking Dead again. So I don't have anything that AMC is on anymore. And they've got this new Walking Dead series. I think it's called like Beyond the Walking Dead or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it's called. But they had the first episode up for free, and I watched it. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't know. I don't feel like their actors were as good. Oh, I didn't realize I could search buses. I don't feel like the actors that they've got for their characters are necessarily as good as the ones in the other shows, at least from that first episode. There is the way in. Honestly, I probably should have just busted open those doors over there. Why are the doors all locked? Let me in. They're all locked, man. Alright, well, you guys figure out. I'm going to come back here and bust open this door. Looks like this is the bathroom. Okay, that one wasn't rain. Somebody just dropped something on the floor above me. But I haven't watched Fear the Walking Dead. Well, okay. I mean, I've mentioned it before. So I used to really keep up on my shows, and then I got to the point where I was like, I prefer to marathon watch them. Right? You watch several episodes in a row, kind of thing, because it helps me keep track of what's going on in this story better, and I like to watch lots of things. And so it's not like I have a show that I can remember every moment of, you know. And well, then I started letting them build up uh, on the DVR, and then my DVR broke, and I had to get a new DVR. And so then I was like, ugh, so now I've got to find a place to watch all those bits of series that I didn't get to finish. And so then that was all building up on the new DVR. And then I switched jobs. And my new job is way more hour intensive than my old job. And so although I prefer the new job to the old job, and the new job is way more stable than my old job. And my old job being a college instructor. Minds thrive on coffee. Harvest more ores while drinking coffee, I think that said. That's interesting. But then my job would be dependent on what classes were being offered and if enough students signed up for a class to hold said class. And I mean, usually if they were having a class that I would teach, there would be enough students for that class to exist. That wasn't usually the issue. It was just whether or not they were going to offer a class that I would teach would be the issue. And then at the end, it was just crazy. There was a lot of management issues, as I believe I've discussed before. Um, uh, Basically, they, well, uh, I don't know. Can I tell that story real quick? I can tell it real quick. What is this one? Learn just where to hit your targets to maximize damage. Shotgun. Oh, I don't use a shotgun. So what had happened was there was a state-run program where people who were out of work could get money to go to college, and so we had a giant system-wide, because I was just on one of many campuses for the college I worked for, and so they had a huge influx of students, and so they translated that into a huge influx of I want to use the word bureaucrat, but that's not the right word. Office workers, because they had so much money, and so they they basically hired too much staff in the offices, and so then when that program ran out, well, those students didn't stay. They no longer had money to go to college, and so they didn't plan for it. Oh, I have points to spend. Man, I didn't realize I'd gone up so many levels. I was working on getting what? I need advanced engineering, right, to get steel? But I needed intellect 4, right? I believe that's what was happening. All right, and then that one needs. I don't think you need. Do you have to go all the way to 5 for steel? Let me see. Crucible. Yeah, I still do not have it unlocked. Wow. All right. Well, then it looks like another point into intelligence then. And so they didn't plan, for whatever reason, they didn't plan around the fact that these students wouldn't stick around once the program ran out. I guess they were expecting the program to be renewed, and it wasn't. And then on top of that, uh, the federal government changed the rules on how student loans were handled, and so, uh, which meant students, which meant less money all around, I guess. And so the student body shrunk, obviously, but they still had all of these office workers that they probably didn't necessarily need in the first place. And what I mean by that is, like, our campus had deans, right? And but our campus was not a big one, and so they were paying people to be deans on our campus, and then after all of that went down, they were like, "Oh, well, we probably don't need deans on every campus, because what does a dean on our campus necessarily do?" Right, and so because we were more of a teach classes, I mean, we didn't. A dean is like in charge of a program. They decide, like, what textbooks are used, what's the curriculum, that kind of stuff. And I think I told a story about how I got roped into doing some of that, but I didn't get paid necessarily for it. And so yeah, this is a weird segue from I started watching Fear the Walking Dead again. But yeah, so needless to say, there was a lot of restructuring in the office section, which shouldn't have, but somehow ended up affecting, like, what is that? Oh, scrap gloves. Level 5 scrap gloves, though. Shouldn't have affected what classes were being offered or anything like that. But suddenly things were being consolidated, and so now deans weren't responsible necessarily for assigning classes before this time, but then they became responsible for assigning classes. I never met with my dean after we no longer have one on campus. I was supposed to, but then they just never would show up because I don't know why. They seem super flaky. That's not true. I did meet my one dean, and then he talked a big game, and then he retired uh, like 2 months later. And so I went through like four deans, the people I report to, in the space of 2 years, three. Uh, it might have been 3 years, and it would have been five deans total. Um, that I ended up going through. And so every one of them was like, walk me through what you do for the program, uh, what kind of programs do you offer on your camp? I'm like, none of this should have anything to do with me. There's a campus administrator. You can pull up our catalog. I don't understand why I've got to do your work. And it got really bad a couple of times with the amount of work that I had to do that should have been someone else doing that I just didn't get paid for. And uh, but on the other hand, I also didn't work that much in the scheme of things. Like, probably made about the same as what I do now, but classes are 4 hours a week, and we usually taught them as night classes that ran for 4 hours. So I only really worked about three three days a week, and so that left me with a lot of free time to watch stuff. And when I changed jobs, now I work like 5 days a week, but I don't have to worry about things like, are there enough students? Is my dean going to be crazy? Things like that. And yeah, so it's a bit of a change, and so it's harder for me to sit down and watch television. In fact, I don't watch television. I canceled my cable, basically. Dish, I don't have cable where I live, and so yeah. So I have missed out on a lot of Fear the Walking Dead. Um, and so I saw that Morgan from The Walking Dead is on Fear the Walking Dead this season. And I was like, huh, I need to catch up on The Walking Dead. I'm a couple seasons behind on that, I think. I was waiting for it to finish because the story they're on right now, which I guess is going to be the final story, is my favorite from the comics, and so I wanted to give that a chance to play out before you know, I know you get more if you put this stuff in, but if I just scrap it, then I can save myself room. I probably don't need 20 cowboy hats either. And so, yeah, so I started watching Fear the Walking Dead. We've got Hulu. It's on Hulu. The other show, though, the new Walking Dead one, is only on AMC Plus, I guess. But I'm not sure I want to pay $9 a month for AMC Plus. They do have a couple of shows on there I wouldn't mind watching. They got the Gangs of London look like it might be good. There's so much stuff I need to watch though. I, I don't know. Maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll give it time to build up some seasons instead of doing it now when it's on weekly episodes. Because I do. I got Netflix and HBO Max, and then Amazon Prime, of course, because I buy so much stuff off Amazon that it just makes sense. And then my sister's got the Disney Hulu thing going, and so we have all that available in the house. Um, and they got a couple of things on that AMC that I'd like to check out, but I don't know if like 3 shows is worth me paying an extra $9 a month for something I may or may not get to, you know? Uh, I just don't think AMC has a big enough catalog necessarily to make me jump on board. If it was like $5 a month, I'd have done it. Easy. I went on there expecting it to be about $5 a month. Um, but I just don't think AMC has a big enough catalog that's exclusive to their AMC Plus to make it worth the cost. I mean, I think there's 3 shows that I can't watch on some other platform. Because Fear the Walking Dead's on Hulu and The Walking Dead is on Netflix. I already have those. They've got a new one, something about souls that kind of look like it might be interesting. I didn't look carefully at those, so I don't know if that's actually something I'd want to watch. And then the new Walking Dead show, and then that Gangs of London looked like it might be pretty good. Um, so I don't know. I was also looking at doing Crunchyroll. I uh, the there's some weirdness with copyrights with anime from Japan, and so I used to watch it all on this one website that would bring the episodes as they came out, and then they were fan subtitled, um, which is the part that makes it unique. And I guess Japan changed their copyright laws, and so my channel went away, and or my website that I was watching it on, and so now I need a new spot to watch. But I wasn't sure if Crunchyroll had all the stuff on there. Um, I want to watch through Gundam again. Only I haven't watched all of it. Gundam's a giant series that started in like 1979 and is still going, but they're like individual stories, and so each they're separate air quote series. So they have different titles, but they're all Gundam, and some of them go together, and some of them are their own separate thing altogether. And so they're kind of like The Walking Dead, right? So you got The Walking Dead, right, which is one group of people in one part of the United States, and then you've got Fear the Walking Dead, which is in another part of the world. Um, I'm pretty sure it starts in California, and then I think the parts I was watching they'd moved into Mexico, and I don't know what happened after that. I'm pretty sure the last season I watched was like season 2 or season 3. They wind up in this village. Um, so I think there's a season. Maybe they get there at the end of season 1, and then I watched season 2, and then I didn't watch season 3. And now I think they're on season 6. So it's been a couple years, and so I want to get into back into watching all that stuff because I like it, and seeing the commercials for that new one, I'm like, oh man, The Walking Dead. And then I watched the premiere on the AMC webpage where they had it, and I was like, this one doesn't feel as good to me as The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. Um, so I think I'm gonna go back to watching Fear. And then I saw Morgan was in Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, I've got to go Fear the Walking Dead. Gundam. Anyways, I was talking about Gundam, not Walking Dead. Gundam is kind of like that. So like all right, I did this place, and I just got stuck on my own backpack. So like the first series of Gundam is set during a war where they use giant robots to fight each other. Like they sit in the cockpits and pilot the robots, and then like a lot of the first series and some of the subsequent series all have to do with that war. They're not all about the same people. They don't take place all at the same time, but they all have to do with that war. And I saw they've got a brand new one just came out in 2018 that is a series from the point of view of the bad guy from the series that came out in 1979. And I'm like, man, that's going back to Char, huh? And so I've really been wanting to watch through that, and I just haven't sat down to do it. And so I recently started watching some stuff every night. I watch an episode, not every night, but most nights I watch an episode or two, and so I didn't want to pick that up. I thought it was asking me to. Those seats, man, they're tricky. And come on, we know you're faking. But then some of them are unique in and of themselves, and so like my favorite Gundam series that I've seen, maybe one of the other ones is better. I don't know. I haven't watched them all. I watched a lot of them, but my favorite one is Gundam Wing, and Gundam Wing is in its own universe. And so, even though it's the same kind of story, there's a war and it's being fought with giant robots that people pilot. Mecha. They're called mecha. They're not robots. Maybe they're robots. I don't know. I don't know the technical term for what exactly is a robot. To me, a robot is like a machine that you program and then it does its thing. Right, and mecha are more like vehicles. You sit inside of them, and you know, run the controls. Like I wouldn't call an airplane or a fighter jet. It's probably more akin to a fighter jet than an airplane. I wouldn't call a super advanced fighter jet a robot, right? Um, and so but oh, that was weird. Was that you? You can't get through the door because you're dumb. Now you don't have a head. I keep hearing crashing noises. I don't understand what's happening here. So I feel like, yep, knew it. You weren't hitting the box. So yeah, so Gundam Wing was my favorite of the ones I've watched, but it doesn't have anything to do with the. I think it's called the Century War. Is the main series war, and then Gundam has its own, or Gundam Wing has its own war that's taking place. Um, they're similar though. They're not totally foreign. Although like G Gundam is a totally different animal from the rest of them, and in that one, oh crap, I didn't even see that guy. G Gundam. Okay, so I guess just real quick here before I finish. Um, so original Mobile Suit Gundam, right, is about this. Uh, there's a war between the space colonies, which are in giant space stations, and Earth. And so the space colonies and Earth um, have a war for who's in charge. And one of the space colonies crashes itself into Earth. And so it's huge devastation to Earth, and so that's the start of the main Gundam series. And then Gundam Wing has a similar idea. There's multiple organizations on Earth fighting each other, and the war spills over to the space colonies, and one of the space colonies gets destroyed, and so the other space colonies are afraid of the war spilling over because they're so fragile. Because they're essentially space stations, and it's not hard to crack open a space station, and then everybody inside dies. And so, will that help my knee? My abrasion? No. And this doesn't help anything, right? No. I need painkillers. Man, I got so much spam. I don't need this corn. Probably get away without these pipes. Where else can I dump here coffee so that I'm not so weighted down? One gunpowder can go. There we go. And then yeah. And so some of the space stations create mecha that that are made using materials that can only be made in space. Not that they're like foreign materials, not like it's alien technology, but more that sometimes they like things are done in space and it changes the way the material forms. And so they basically invent a new metal called Gundanium alloy. Oh, I'm gonna die. I can't. I was stuck on that guy and I couldn't move. Couldn't punch either. Why am I so out of stamina? Get some stamina, guy, or we're gonna die. Oh, I hate when I'm this out of stamina. It's ridiculous. Build up. There you go. Let's see. Nope. I was trying to see if I could. Oh, this is not the way out. Oh, they got me. So, the space stations make this Gundanium alloy, and then they build mecha out of it, and then they send 5 Gundams to Earth to disrupt the war on Earth, I guess. And so that one's pretty cool. All right, I am here. Oh no, and my bike is a million miles away because I didn't make a new bed. Crap. Wow. Wow. That dog wasn't playing. Here's a trick. It's nighttime. I can't move. It's not fair. Get away from me, dog. Oh, jeez. And then the G Gundam. G Gundam is totally different from those. Um, uh, they built space colonies, and then all the well-to-do people left Earth for the space colonies, and so now they really this band-aid is too much. And so when they have a disagreement, because space stations are so fragile, they have opted to fight their wars on Earth, but not with armies, but with single duels between countries' mecha. And so that one's a little different than the others. And it's about this dude whose brother was one of these duelists. And why did I get so much money or so much XP for her? And disappeared. And so now he's made himself the Japanese duelist and has gone to Earth to search for his missing brother. And so that one's quite a bit different. And there's some others. There's one with little robots, like actual robots. They're hanging out with kids that I've never watched. I don't know if I'll watch that one. There's a series where they build mechs, like in high school, which I watched a couple of episodes of, but wow, could not shoot that guy in the head. I'm a bad aim. I need a better gun. That's all there is to it. Maybe I can drink a coffee here and get some more stamina regen. Dang it! I'm trying to do something here. Fighting with your stupid face isn't the thing I was trying to do. Yeah, so there's quite a few different flavors to the series, but they're all based around these mecha. Well, except the ones with the little robots that interact with children. They look like the robots from the other series, or the mecha, but I'm pretty sure they have like artificial intelligence. So I'm not too keen on that one. It's more of a kids' cartoon. Most of them are very. G Gundam is probably a little more teen oriented, but most of them are fairly serious war stories um, that have significant casualties amongst main characters and deal with things like PTSD and the fallout from war and collateral damage and stuff like that. Um, and so I do like a good war epic, I guess. Dang it. I could fight one-on-one, but where did you come from? Pretty sure I could take one of these guys. Okay, now there's none of you guys. I take it back. I could take two of those guys. I should probably just find some place to hide, and because I'm gonna die again here. Um, but anyways, I've got to go. I got some stuff to do yet tonight. Told you I got to hang out with my gaming group, and and so I can't find the subtitled version of my Gundam shows that I want to watch. All I can find are the English dubbed versions, and I prefer. I hate that. I hate when you're playing a game and there's nothing on your screen, and then something just hits you from behind. Um, it's not like I didn't just come through that area. I hate when a game spawns things in after you've passed through an area. It's annoying. All right. Well, with that, be better than the small things, lean to the light. I will talk to you later.